Hi there, welcome to Chasing Alpha. Thanks for joining us again today for another awesome video. I'm Rod. Dean, how's it going there today, man?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. How's everyone?
Yep,
Everyone's well?
things doing well. I like your suit, mate. You're looking very business-like.
Oh, mate, gotta keep it real.
Nice. So, what have we got on today for today's video, there, Dean?
Yeah, so we're gonna be discussing Binance a recent AMA by CZ. He highlighted and touched on quite a few topics, and we're just gonna bring them up in a kind of bullet point fashion and kind of explain to you what they mean or what they could mean and what it could mean for BNB tokens and the overall crypto market in general.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, without further ado, let us get into it. I'll just get our PowerPoints up and running. All right. So what have we got there, Dean?
All right. So this is no one's hardly talking about this. It's actually Binance is launching 2 futures platforms. So they actually acquired one, and then they've got another futures platform that they're actually building. So they're likely to launch these 2 quite simultaneously or one after the other, which would be quite good news actually, because as you know, crypto industry relies on the market pumps or dumps depending on what's happening, and there hasn't been a lot of news other than the backed news recently, which kind of people are kind of tired of it now anyway. So for Binance and BNB specific, this is quite bullish sign, because it just means that there'll be a lot of buzz happening in the coming couple of weeks. So that's good news, number one, Rod.
Nice.
And the second thing he touched on was the Venus stablecoin. So you would have read about it. Binance is in the process of launching their own stable fiat-backed stable currency, which is called Venus. And this is he just basically reaffirmed that they are working on it, and this is a process of ongoing development. So they'll be launching it soon, but just not immediately. That's all. So yes, so that's also positive news.
Nice. And
the second thing about the futures contract, I don't know if people have been watching the news lately, but Binance has launched a lending service, which means that you can actually lock up your BNB and a few other tokens, US dollar, Tether, and actually get 15% per annum to interest, and it's a 2-week, at a time lockup. So you lock up 2 weeks at a time, and it's good because it just means that your funds are not tied up. So you've got the optionality to invest in other avenues as and when they arise. Another good thing on the side is that if you're locking up your BNB, you still get opportunities from the IEOs, which is great. And no rehypothecation just means that the Binance tokens and the other tokens that gets locked up, they won't be relent to other third parties. So there's no counterparty risk. This is a practice that's kind of rampant in the traditional markets. It's also in particular in the gold markets, which means that if you actually own a gold paper gold contract, that physical gold that it's backed by, it's a few other people, or should I say, at least a few other people have rights to that gold bar as well, aside from yourself. So at the end of the day, if you follow the contract home, there's maybe like 10 or 20 people for every single gold ounce. So that's one of the reasons why people are bullish on gold, and I'm glad that practice won't be carried on in the Bitcoin and the crypto industry and Binance specifically.
Nice.
As I touched on earlier, borrowed. So if you're borrowing from the BNB platform, the margin lending, if you borrow those BNBs, you will not qualify for the IEO screenshot, which means that you'll miss out on the tickets. Next one is if you were to lend your BNBs, you still qualify for the IEO screenshots and the tickets, which means that not only are you earning 15% interest per annum, but you're also getting the BNBs, so you should be getting the launchpad opportunity at the same time.
Oh, very nice.
The interest that they charge for the lenders, the borrowers, and as well as the interest that they pay to the lenders are dynamic. So it's based on a supply demand capacity. So it will change, fluctuate over time. So if there's more borrowers than lenders, the interest rate will go up to create demand, and then likewise, if there's more lenders, then the interest rate will drop because cheap funds available. So the number 7 is shorter time frame between IEOs. So this is a really, really positive sign. One of the reasons Perlin, which is the last Binance Launchpad IEO, didn't do that well is because there were other platforms or exchanges that were also listing Perlin, and that kind of diluted the demand for the token on Binance platform. And CZ addressed this the other day by saying that they can do this by shortening the time between the winning lottery tickets announced and the actual tokens being listed. So no one else can actually list them. All the other exchanges will be listing the token after the actual after Binance listing. So it'll give the Binance holders a bit of an advantage when it comes to and also price growth. Number 8 is the next 3 months. So September, October, November. By the end of the next 3 months, they hope to have 5 IEOs, which is great. So it's almost like 2 IEOs, 2 Launchpad IEOs per month, which drastically increases our chances of actually getting in and getting a positive ROI. And this all means that there is a positive price outlook for BNB. I know it's kind of dumped in the last week or so, but we are getting to the territory, which I'll go through shortly, that it's almost becoming oversold, and it is, in my opinion, it is oversold and it's quite cheap at the moment. So at the end of this slide, we'll go through a short trade that we have open at the moment in our Chasing Alpha forums. So slide 10, next slide, please.
Just a couple of questions there, Dean, about the positive price outlook for BNB. What we're saying is that because CZ or Binance seem to find so many use cases for the BNB, or so much utility with regards to IEO or margin trading or lending, borrowing, etc. That's why we're so bullish on the price of BNB long term, aren't we?
That's right. Because there's constant development coming through. The team itself are working. He mentioned he's working 16-hour days, and then the team itself is also working 16-hour days. So in any project where they've got so much demand, so much hype coming through, and plus they're actually working more harder than the others that have less funds to actually to play with, that's a massively bullish sign for us, medium to long term. So we're definitely positive outlook.
Yeah, even the fact with them opening up an exchange for the US yet, I mean that's going to open up another whole market for one to purchase BNB tokens. So yeah, I mean as you said, I mean the price currently is very, very cheap where we think it could be. In the next bull run, we could see quite a run up from BNB, couldn't we?
That's right, and I mean he also touched on the fact that he's trying to expand quite rapidly in Africa as well, and in South America hopefully as well. So you'll see Binance spreading like a kind of a viral kind of outreach for these guys. So it'll be good. And if Binance becomes the native currency for the entire ecosystem, then the only thing with increasing user base, and the increases your use of the actual tokens will generate in the price to appreciate. And then you have the hype factor on top of that, which just basically multiplies that growth. So I think it's going to be a good buy for the long term, definitely.
Absolutely. And slide 10.
This is what he touched on. He said that a lot of altcoins will die. By far, the majority will die, and he wasn't being kind of he wasn't taking a stab at anybody in particular, but he was just saying that a lot of ICOs that were done in 2017 and even 2018, they don't actually have a lot of work to show for all those funds collected. There are companies out there that achieve a lot more with a lot less money. So he was just touching on the fact that if they haven't, like if say a given ICO project has raised $5 million or $3 million, and they haven't actually hit their roadmap targets, or they've deviated away from the targets, or they've changed the project completely, they didn't have a fair strategy going forward in the beginning. So those are the ones that you got to kind of be wary about. We're going to be releasing another video shortly about which altcoins, what attributes of an altcoin that you should be looking out for to actually include in your long-term hodl list. They're very few, but we'll be launching those names, releasing those names to our Telegram group very shortly, and also the ones that you should watch out for. And there's a lot of those that you got to watch out for, unfortunately. The ones that we've actually highlighted that he mentioned that are good buys or have a positive growth outlook are, if you can see at the bottom there, BNB, obviously. There's Bitcoin, obviously, number one, and Ethereum. I know the prices kind of dumped heavily at the moment, but we're quite keen to see what will happen come January 2020. They've got the Ethereum 2.0. The hype alone should give it a boost towards the later part of the year. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to reiterate what Dean said, I don't know about you, but I've held a few coins from the last bull run, and because a lot of them haven't got a working case, there's not really, also a working product, there's not much case for speculation anymore. I think back in the previous bull run, you could almost chuck money in anything, and almost anything was going up purely out of hype and speculation. But now it's coming down to, it seems like the market has actually progressed, and now it's coming down to working products, companies that have actually got something substantial to show. And if they don't, unfortunately, those coins are going to start to die out. So it is absolutely worth looking at the ones that are got a real use case.
Yeah, and also
for number 11 here, Dean.
Yeah. So it's touching back from what we said before about the altcoins slowly declining in price. So he has also acknowledged that the BNB prices has also declined in the last week, which is good because you have to realize that something's not heading in the right direction to actually be able to fix it. And he cannot control the market. Nobody does. So what he said was, we're just busy building the infrastructure to deliver on their project roadmaps and their timelines. So they're pretty good in terms of being able to work hard, switching jurisdictions to actually to reduce that kind of political and legal threat or risk that's posed by Binance hodlers or Binance hodlers. So he's doing pretty good. He's on the ball. So I think he's quite reliable in that respect. I would trust him a lot more than a few other CEOs that I've dealt with, spoke with in the past. So it's looking good over there. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, this looks like it's join our Telegram page. You can see here we've got the QR code. Look, we have a Telegram group that is rapidly growing. Would love you to join it. And there is discussion, look, from anyone who's beginner through to some guys who are pretty advanced in their craft. Would love you to join us. Please scan that. It's called Chasing Alpha if you want to look it up on Telegram. I would love to have you along in our group.
There's also this is the open trade that we have at the moment. So as you can see, on the left-hand side of the green, we are here. So we posted this on $25.36 approximately. And we didn't think it would be getting to $22.50, let alone $21.70 at the moment. So in our group, I did release our thoughts as well as a few other technical indicators what analysts are saying about the price. Analysts predicting the price to go maybe even 20, maybe slightly below 20. And that's the case. Look, we're going to be buying up more. There's no reason this thing is not going to go jump back up. In the next 2 weeks alone, you've got the features, two platforms they're releasing. You've got the IEOs that are coming, and more increased frequency of the IEOs that are coming. Those alone would give you sufficient they'll bump up the price to say 25, 26, 27 again. So we're quite bullish, even short, medium, and long term on this. So this is just a projected profit. We're looking at around 21% of capital introduced. But if you were to do a leverage trade, you can increase the ROE by like more than 30%.
Wow.
And your profit looks like around $1,500 based on if you follow this model. If you follow this model, say if you don't have any BNB and you start now, so you start accumulating at 21.50, and then you dollar cost average down to say 19 or 18, then it's going to be even better for whoever's watching. And also I just wanted to kind of touch, I think this was the last slide, but I want to touch on the fact that he's mentioned that CZ's mentioned that BNB chain Binance chain will be open sourced in the future. This is a massive news because the only criticization that the critics were saying that BNB is not, Binance chain is not open source, and hence it's centralized, blah blah blah. So the reason he gave that it's not centralized at the moment is because he doesn't want people to fork. If he wants everything to be open source, he can actually, other exchanges can fork his code and actually, kind of build on what he's he's already built. So he wants to keep things, keep things close to his chest, get the competitive advantage, and once it's fully ready, everything's finalized, then he can go ahead and then release make the code open source. So that's another massive news that no one's hardly talking about.
Yep, there's a whole lot to go through there. Well, this brings us to the end of today's video. Love to get your thoughts. What did you think on the Binance AMA? What did you think of CZ's thoughts on various things? Please do comment below. Please subscribe to our channel, and we'd love for you to also join our Telegram channel. The link will be below. We'll see you in our next video.
Cheers, see you guys.